All right, it's our NBA draft coverage episode, round one, and we got Chris LeBron from the Off the Ball Podcast Network and Knicks Fan TV. Everybody give it up, clap. Even if you're driving.
And if you're not, please don't clap while you're driving.
Even
Again,
while you're driving.
disclaimer.
Don't
Do
do
not
that.
clap while you're driving, please.
Responsible driving.
Chris, I met Chris on Twitter years ago. We've been on each other's podcasts, on each other's show, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know anything about anybody in this draft. I could not get on an episode and just lie to y'all. Kwab does. But Chris here, I know that he does the draft coverage for Knicks Fan TV, which is the premier go-to channel and network for Knicks fans.
Facts.
So listen, that's all the credibility you need in my mind. Also, he has his own CEO of a podcast network, the Off the Ball Podcast Network. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, trust this man. I trust him.
I appreciate that, man. It's this podcast game it's we finally got to meet in person like last month, and it's crazy like how everything happens, man. Like it's cool to just be talking to you and just doing this, man. It's Knicks fan. Like I remember calling into Knicks Fan TV. Now that I'm a part of it, it's pretty dope, no. So man, I'm excited, man. I'm ready. I can't wait to chop it up with you guys.
Let's do it, man. Let's get straight to it. Gotta ask you, which team had the best night tonight?
Ooh, who had the best night? I kind of like San Antonio did really well. I mean, obviously, we get the second pick. It's kind of, but to get Carter Bryant at 14 also, like that's good value. Utah. I think Utah's, and I'm sorry, Kwab, like they know the Nets want the player they drafted at 5, and I just think that Danny Ainge is, he's Birdman right now. He's like, I know y'all desperate, right? Y'all, you might get fired, you might get fired. We know what you want.
It makes sense. It was yeah.
I think Utah is just they saw the Nets they're wounded and they're like, we know what y'all want. We know what y'all really want, because whatever y'all did just now, I don't know about that, but so I think Utah actually did pretty solid. And then they took Walter Clayton. I like the value. Like I wasn't crazy about Walter Clayton, but where they got him is like where I had him on my board. So to me, the value of that is tremendous too. So you obviously get Ace Bailey if he is going to play there. Potentially, that he has star potential, and then you get Walter Clayton, national. He just won a national championship. Big reason why Florida, won the national championship. So, I think those are two good picks. So I think Utah did well. Atlanta too. I think they did solid. Hate to say it, but they did solid. But yeah, those are a few teams I think did well.
Besides my Nets, who do you think did the worst in this draft?
Honestly,
is it the Nets?
I don't think anyone else was like the Hanson Yang pick.
Yeah.
Portland is kind of I think he was even shocked. Like he wasn't even he was in the stands. Like he was
probably came down like Sting. He was in the Raptors, bro. But like Jay Uso, like coming from the crowd, bro. It was
9. And it's just like I don't even think he was ready. He was like, "Oh, wait, me." I give him credit. Like he killed it in the combine. So like he was a massive winner. Like I remember watching him play and talking to people. They're like, "Yo, he's gonna go up." And now I didn't think he would be top 20.
Yeah.
Like I thought maybe beginning of the second round. Like every mock draft or whoever I talked to, they're like, "Yeah, he's probably gonna be in that 30 to 40ish range." I was like, okay. I didn't think he'd go, especially going to, because the pick is going to Portland. And they already got Donovan Clingan, who they took top, I think the 7th pick last year.
Yeah.
So, but maybe like I said, it's a copycat league. Everybody wants the bigs now, right? They want multiple bigs, 2-man big lineup. So I think everyone's just trying to replicate that because that seems like that's the recipe for success. So, but that was a question, but I'm sorry. It's the Nets, man. Everyone else, okay, whatever. But
hey, man, that's fine.
I have 5 cracks at it, and Danny Wolf is probably the best value. Like honestly, like Danny Wolf is probably the best value pick.
Yeah.
That's a slot.
But
Like I like him
what
in
about
that
their
spot.
first pick? The one at number 8 from BYU. I know he's gonna have a hard time adjusting from the dorms at BYU to the baddies in Brooklyn.
Dog.
It's gonna be tough. It's a
Uh,
culture shock there.
Look,
But
That's a
he seems
crazy cult. It is. I just thought about. I didn't even think about that, but that is a culture shock, man. That is a crazy culture shock. Going from what BYU's in Utah, right?
and Mormon, and you're not
And
allowed to do.
more,
You
yeah,
cannot
yeah. Then
touch.
the minute he goes on the train, he gonna be like, "Ah, man,
Right,
it's
it's
taking me
crazy.
back,
It's
man. It's
so
taking
I'm
me back."
concerned for that. But
Yeah,
they seem like this is my vibe, right? This is me watching the draft as somebody who does not know anything about any of these players. It seemed like the Nets were going for players who can pass the basketball, playmaker type players in their first couple picks or what, or just in general. You don't think that this guy from what's his name, Yegor?
Igor, Igor,
Yeah,
Igor, Igor, Igor Dennis.
Igor Denham. Yeah, like I, I didn't have too much a problem with that. It just everything else after that didn't make sense. It
Got it.
doesn't fit. Like if you're gonna get Igor, okay, I'm cool with that. Like I had him, I think top 15 or so on my board, so I'm cool with that because I knew, and I also heard a lot of buzz with them. Like Igor and the Nets was kind of like a thing, so I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then after that, like Nolan Trayor, and I had Nolan Trayor like 44 for my board. Like
Damn.
I don't get it. He's up to me. He's more of a project.
Okay.
I didn't the play like Ben Saraf. Okay, like I don't know. That felt like it didn't fit, and like you already have a weirdish type of team right now, and like, I don't know. I just I didn't get what after, and I don't know. I don't know what the draft. I know they're heavy into international stuff. Like they've
Yeah.
invested a lot in their scouting with the international department. I know that, but this was like too much international. Like
Way too much.
like
Way
one,
too.
if you got 5 picks and you plan on using all five, and you want to use two on international guys because you think they might have upside, cool. But how many? 3, 4
Like,
international dudes?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, technically 2.5 because Igor played at BYU,
but he's an
Right.
international dude. Like,
but
I'll
he's
count him.
international. Yeah, but he's
But so
international. I
like,
think
I don't know.
my
I
problem,
just
my problem with that pick was like watching him at BYU was everybody was like, oh, he's a 6'8" point guard. And then anytime they played anybody good, he
couldn't
disappeared.
get past. Yeah.
Yeah, he disappeared. So it was like he's like, are you drafting basically um I don't know, like a Kyle Anderson like replica who like he's not really a guard, he's more of a wing. He can pass, but he's not really to me he's not really a point, but I guess they want to play him at point. Because you want to play a bigger, I guess in your mind they want a bigger like starting point guard to play next to like Cam Thomas. So you go with that, but yeah, every pick I had like there were question marks for me. Like we can touch on that later, but like it felt like every pick I was like, yo,
Yeah.
why? But was there? Do you have like a sleeper like pick like who you were just like, yo, that's that guy that's gonna be that might be like somebody very very important for that team.
A sleeper pick. I like Liam McNeely at 29, man.
Yeah,
I know the split show. I think he shot like 31% from three at UConn. But UConn, I mean, I feel like when people look at college stats, they just look at it and like there's more context. Like in NBA, you can see the numbers, and that's maybe what it is. But in college, I mean, sometimes you're the guy. You might be an NBA player, but you're playing with the guy who's going to be an accountant next year.
yeah.
You know, he ain't gonna be playing pro basketball. So like to me, I felt like that with Liam. Like I know there's some athleticism concerns, but I don't know. I feel like he is a way better player than what the stats show with
Mhm.
him. So to me, to get him, I think he's going to Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
I think the Suns traded. So for me, I love that to get him at 29. Oh, I mean, he to me, he should have went way higher, but to get him at 29, that's good. Jace Richardson,
Yeah.
Mm.
Orlando.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Like I had him higher. I know people are worried about his height, but then you watch him play and he doesn't play like he's 6'1". He plays a
Yeah.
lot bigger. Like he has 3-level scoring ability. So like I don't know. I think he got like they just judged him by his height, and they're like, well, can you just watch when he play in the Big Ten too? In the
Yeah.
Big Ten, like watch how he plays, and you're gonna see that. Okay, yeah, the height is whatever, but he's a lot more athletic. He's not his pops athleticism, but he still got like a 37-inch vert.
Yeah.
So like I think for him to get him at 25, like it felt like a lot of guys that I had higher just went low, and I'm still trying to figure that out. Why I got to get more intel and figure out why that happened. But a lot of guys that I like that had a lot higher went lower. But that's just better value for Orlando just got themselves a really good player in Jace.
Yeah, Jace, like, it struck me as like a Cole Anthony replacement. Like, you just got rid of Cole Anthony, and now you're bringing in another guard who's offensive-minded, kind of short and kind of undersized, but can put up points in a hurry if need be off the
He's gonna be
bench.
way more efficient than Cole. Cole is just especially this year. Cole Anthony, especially to start the season, I
Yeah.
think he's how to play basketball.
He was awful.
He
Yeah,
like
he was Space Jam. He was 100% Space Jam.
He
Yeah.
his powers, and I was really like, "You're not this bad. Like I know you're not
Right.
efficient, but
Right.
like you're doing like 29%, not
Yeah.
from three, from the field.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Field,
doing
yeah.
here?" And then eventually he got back, to playing all right. But there's a reason why they traded him, So I think they replace Cole Anthony with Jace, who's a lot more efficient. So I think that's a good play. And they need more firepower on offense. Way more firepower. Like that's why they struggled so much last year. They relied on two guys and they got no other offense from no one else. They need more firepower. So it seems like that's what they're doing.
All right, so now I don't want to talk Cooper Flagg right now. I just like it's a boring conversation. He's number one pick. We get it. Great. To me, Ace Bailey and him, holding out and going to Utah at number 5 is probably the most interesting story to me in the draft. Hypothetically, he stays with Utah, or just in general, what kind of career do you think he's going to have? Is he this good? How good is he? Is he an instant impact player right away? Like, what can I expect from Ace Bailey? Because I see all these highlights of him, and I'm not going to lie, I'm somebody who, I'm very keen on, shot selection, IQ. And I'm not saying he doesn't have high IQ, but what I'm saying is that when your highlight reel is you, impersonating Kobe Bryant over and over and over again, it's kind of concerning for me. I know you got talent, bro, but, are you going to be driving crazy watching you? So what do you think he's going to be in this league?
I think he's such a polarizing player because the upside is probably greater than Cooper, honestly. If he goes into the potential, he can be 30 points per game, like an MVP type, but the floor is Josh Jackson.
Oh my God, bro!
Yeah.
That's 3 years in the league.
3 years in the league, and you out.
Damn.
That's the scary part. That's why he's still going top 5, but there was a point before the season where people were like, "Yo, I think Ace might go 1 over Coop."
Yeah.
That was a real thing. People, and I was like, I don't know about that, but maybe 2. Yeah, I can see him going 2. Or definitely top 3 for sure. Which he was, right? It was always top 3. Harper in that mix too, and obviously Harper went too. But I think if you're Utah, and this is why I thought Brooklyn was going to trade up, right? When you guys got the extra pick yesterday, I was like, oh, there's a trade up for Ace, because first of all, Ace wants to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been hearing. They want. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So a team like the Jazz and the Nets, they need to hit on one guy. They have a bunch of guys. Utah has a bunch of guys, but none of them are gonna pop to be an all-star level player. They just got a bunch of good players. But they needed someone to be a home run hitter. Especially after doing all the tanking and not getting the number 1 pick, they need to. So Ace was that guy. So I understand why they took him, because they're like, okay, we have what's the coach's name? Will Hardy. He was in Boston. They know how the player develop to an extent. Like I said, they got good players, but they needed the home run. They needed to see if they can get that Tracy McGrady, where he's been compared to, right? T-Mac, that Paul George level player. So I get why they took him. It makes sense. And I would have done the same thing too, because they're still going to be all in on next year too, trying to tank again.
Yeah.
So I get why they took him, but it's risky taking a guy that A, doesn't want to be there, and B, has so much, the gap between what he can be. Like I said, I don't think the floor is out of the league in a couple years. That's risky.
That's wild, bro. That's a crazy floor.
I believe that, but if you feel like you can develop him properly and get him to where you think he could be, you can work on his shot selection. which is the big thing, right? His shot selection. Now, Rutgers wasn't obviously he had Harper, but Harper missed some time, and when Harper missed some time, Ace had some monster games,
Yeah.
So where he's just doing everything, and you're like, wow, like I could see where this dude could be a 30 point game guy, like he could be a scoring champion, But then you see the down, and you're like, oh my god, the down is bad. So, but if you're Utah, and I think it was worth. I think it was worth a shot. What do you got to lose? You didn't get like obviously they went all in, no pick didn't happen. So it's like, all right, let's try this out. And now like I mentioned, I think they know he doesn't want to be there. They know he wants to go to a few other teams.
Yeah.
Like I said, your Brooklyn Nets, and I think they're playing the game like, all right, you don't want to be here. We're gonna hold him hostage, and we're gonna get what we want. Because Danny Ainge always somehow gets what he wants.
Yeah, he does. I know. I agree with you with the floor about Ace. I've heard the same thing, and also a scout once told me he was like, yeah, he's not. And people try to compare like his ceiling to like a KD, Paul George, or whatever it is, and and the scout was like, he's more of like a young Rashard Lewis in terms of just a tall, like he's tall, can hit shots, but like it's not to the level of a superstar. Like he has the potential to be like that guy, but like a lot of things have to go right for him to hit that. So maybe it happens to Utah. Maybe he goes to Utah and they give him the green light and he's able to just like shoot away and get to that point. We never know. But like
You're gonna shoot
like you
like
said,
34% from the
yeah,
field. Like, he'll get 16 if they just green light him. He'll get 16 a game, but it's gonna
yeah,
be nasty. 16
it's gonna be
points.
nasty. It's gonna be yeah,
nasty. So that's the risk you take, and you just hope you can develop, those some good habits from him. But yeah, it's with him. The KD stuff I never got. I never got
yeah,
the.
same.
He was never like he never showed that he can be like the efficient player like KD was. Even KD in high school, like he was never that. So, I understood more of the T Mac comps. Because T Mac was he wasn't crazy efficient, but he was a 30 point per game guy.
Yeah.
True.
He was a tremendous bad shot taker. So
Yeah,
I kind of got those comparisons more than the KD or even Paul George because he's not even a playmaker like Paul George is. Like,
true. That makes sense.
So before the draft started, the Portland Trailblazers kidnapped Cedric Coward and wrote a ransom note to the Memphis Grizzlies and said, "If you want this player right now, we demand that you give us an extra first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. Come get him, or else we draft him." And the Memphis Grizzlies paid the ransom note. They overpaid for a man who I don't know how good he is, but this man better be amazing because you moved up only 5 spots and gave up an extra first and 2 second rounders to draft this man. Was it worth it?
for me, yes.
Wow, the ransom note was worth it.
I
Wow.
would have
Okay.
gave them what they wanted. I would have been like, yes, we're gonna do it.
Take whatever you want. Go.
Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. He's such a unique player. Like his story is kind of impressive too. Like just coming out of nowhere and
Yeah.
just I like players that keep leveling up. The better the competition goes, and that's kind of what he is. And he was supposed to go to Duke, and I'm a
Yeah.
Duke fan, so I was excited to have him. But then the combine happened, and he went from being maybe like a late first or second round pick
Yeah.
to like lottery to like he might go like top 8. I heard,
Yeah.
and he told Duke, "Race, I'm out. Sorry, Coach Shire. I'm and like that's why when I saw Duke started recruiting more other small forwards, I was like, oh, they know he's gone.
Yeah.
Like they were on Alex Sarr's brother. Like they get on in him. When they started getting on him, I was like, oh, Coward's not coming back. Like he's gonna and but he has everything you want in a wing. Like he's got the size, 6'6", 7-foot wingspan, can shoot, but he didn't play a lot of ball this year. He only played like 5-6 games at Washington State, but like kept leveling up. No scholarships going to high school, then goes plays JUCO, and then goes to Washington State, and he got an offer from Duke. Like they keep leveling up. I like that. So It's a pretty hefty ransom, but I think he's good. I had him. I gotta look quick on my board where I had him, but I had. Let me see exactly where I had. I had 10. So I am a top
All right.
10 pick.
Okay. Cool.
And at first I was skeptical too. I'm like, I have him too high. Like
Yeah.
I think I have him too high, but now I got enough assurance that I felt good about it, and I was like, okay, I think he's gonna be a good, and he fits Memphis perfect. They need wings
They do need
that
wings,
can actually
especially
play
just
basketball.
getting rid of
Yeah,
Bane. I mean, he's a replacement there. I
yeah,
just thought that was a lot, man. I mean, to move up only five, not only 5 spots. I mean, in the lottery, 5 spots is a lot.
yeah.
Um, but still to give up that much, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that before. You're moving up
Yeah.
5 spots and you give up an extra first and
Extra
two second
first.
rounders. I'm like, this guy got to be dope. I've never seen him play, but he's got to be
No,
crazy.
you're right. You're right. But I'm in this type of I'm in this type of feeling like if you see your guys there and he's right there.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
down the block.
yeah,
Go get him. Go get him. Like
yeah.
I mean,
if it's in within reaching distance, go get him. Like don't the Knicks do this a lot. And they missed on a lot of players because they're a pick away or 2 picks away and they're just waiting. And you sometimes you gotta take risks. You gotta
Right.
be able to take a risk and you go get him. Go get him. There are plenty of time where the Knicks did this and too many teams do this. If
Steph
you
Curry.
like a guy, take him.
Steph Curry. Steph
yeah. I
Curry.
mean, Cedric is like a. He basically is like a Grizzlies player if you really think about it. Like, there's a
He
type of player
fits
like they draft.
per
Like, it's just
perfect.
you're like, who is this guy? Like, why did they reach for him? And then all of a sudden, like, he just ends up fitting and ends up having a good year. I feel like every draft pick they've had the past couple of years,
They
we're
did it
always
with
like,
Desmond Bain. People
yep,
like, short arms, blah.
Yeah.
And then I remember one guy, one scout I know, he was like, "Yo, Desmond Bain's gonna be good. Like I don't care what anyone says. I'm all in on Desmond Bain." He had him like top 15, whatever, and he was kind of unknown too, a little bit. Not to the extent of Cedric, but he was kind of unknown. And then he's had a pretty good career, but Desmond Bain. So like, I think Cedric, he's definitely one of like the best fits in this draft. Cedric. I think that's perfect. So it was worth it. I think for me
Okay.
it was worth. Go get your guy if it's close enough. If
Yeah.
if you got losing a first round pick stinks and second, but if you think that's your guy, to me, go get him.
Cool.
And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with them doing that.
was the one of the other trades that happened was Pelicans really wanted Derik Queen, like, and when they end up giving up like a future
Yeah.
unprotected pick next year, which is like supposed to be another good draft.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's kind of like you really believe in Derik Queen. How did you feel about that one?
in my opinion, I feel like this is the end of Zion. Because
Ooh.
if we're just talking about fit, oh my god, like we could get past those guys on defense. Like it's that bad. Like the defense is going to be bad. It to me it I think Zion's gone. Like I think
Really?
I that's just my opinion because I don't see the fit. Queen is someone I like, but
Yeah.
I he was the one that tormented me on like fit. Like I have him. I think I had him 11th on my board. Like I have him high, but I was just like I don't know. Like he needs a real specific team because his game is like if he doesn't have the ball in his hand, I don't know what he can do well
Got you.
realistically. And
Okay.
defensively, he's not good. Like he can rebound, like he does little stuff, but I'm not drafting a guy to rebound with a top 11 pick, and he can't
Yeah.
block shots. You know, so he's real. He was real team specific, and I kind of found like a real tough time where to put him. But I just like this game. He's just one of those dudes. You go to the YMCA and you always see that big fat dude, and somehow he's just giving you buckets, and you're like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Like he's just that's what he is. He's just a YMCA dude, overweight YMCA dude that just gives buckets. And sometimes you just feed that guy the ball. That guy
Like
just
Zach
let you.
Randolph? A little like Zach Randolph?
Not the style, but like in that mode where like he's a, he's not. He didn't test well, Queen. Like he didn't test well at all at the combine.
Okay.
But there's just some dudes that are not going to test well at all.
Yeah.
There's just guys that are just hoopers. I'm good at basketball. When it's 5-on-5, you put the ball in my hand, I know what to do. I'm
Yeah.
not going to test well. I'm not going to do the agility drills. I'm not going to have a good vert. I'm not going to do any of these stuff well. But when you put the ball in my hand and it's 5-on-5, I'm gonna give you 20 and 10.
Gotcha.
He's just one of those dudes. So I mean, I don't know the fit with Zion. I don't think Zion's gonna be there. I think the Pelicans have ran its course. I think Dumars is gonna get rid of everything they had because it hasn't worked. He hasn't
Wow.
played enough. He hasn't played enough. So I think Zion's gonna be on the move. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I just
I
have
like
that
it.
feeling.
I like it.
I
We'll
just
throw it
have
on
that feeling.
TikTok, see if people respond to it. All right. Collin Murray-Boyles says he's excited to be a Raptor. Do you believe him? Listen, Toronto's a dope city. I believe him. I think he was just kind of like, oh, like, wow, I got drafted. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, that's the explanation he gave. I believe him. Hook him up to a lie detector test. I believe him. What do you think?
I had to see it a few times. Initially, because like I said, I'm doing the live stream and I'm trying to look and trying to give reaction. And at first, I just saw I'm like, oh, he's not happy. Then I rewatched it after, before I come on, I was like, oh no, he's just in the moment.
Okay.
That was just like,
I believe it too. I'm with
wow,
you.
like wow, I got drafted,
Bro, because Raptors Twitter was ripping him, bro. And I've been a victim of Raptors Twitter years ago in a Twitter space. I had Raptors Twitter come at me, and it is not fun. So I saw him going through it, and I was like,
they try to
oh,
be
man.
like Knicks Twitter. It's like, Toronto tries to copy New York City. They
Yeah, son. Yeah.
Don't start no New York Toronto
Hold on,
beef right
I don't
now.
want to be.
Do not
I
start-
actually made up. I made up. with
don't
Raptors
start that
Twitter.
up again, man.
Yeah, we had it for like a day, and then I made up with them, and now they respect me. So I want to keep that going because I don't want the smoke. I don't want that smoke. And I guarantee you, Collin didn't want that smoke either because I saw the people I follow on Raptors Twitter were not happy, not happy at all. But it was funny. Kwab, actually, what are your thoughts? Is this a queen sweep?
Same. I thought he was just like in the moment was just like, yo, I just got drafted. Fuck, like, so and the internet, like Twitter and everything, it's gonna get overblown like everything else does. Like you take a second clip and people start running with it, which kind of sucks that his big moment has to come down to this where he's like, yeah, I actually want to be here. I don't know why everybody's saying this, which is wild. But I was actually surprised he got drafted to Toronto just because it's just another 6'7", 6'8", like 6'6" forward that they just added. I thought they were gonna take Malwatch. I thought they were gonna go big. So I was shocked they took him. So I was like, oh, okay, that's different. But yeah, I'm happy for the kid. It's just it. Good luck. You gotta be careful. Welcome to Raptors Twitter. You gotta be. They got on Pascal the other day because Pascal was talking about how he was like he just found his love for basketball again. They're like, oh, you hated Toronto? What happened? Like,
bro, low key, one of the craziest fan bases in the league. Low key,
Yes.
not many people know about it, bro. Toronto fans are insane. They're insane. But
Yeah,
I love them. I love them now. For now.
Yeah, but but CMB, I don't know, man. I thought Malawatch would have been a better fit
yeah,
there. Because Jakob Poeltl's always on the trade block. So I don't know. I CMB kind of I feel like he's getting lost in the shuffle there. They got so many jumbo wings there.
yeah.
So like I know he's a more defensive oriented guy and they don't have a lot of guys that play defense there.
Yeah.
So I get it on that aspect. Maybe that's what they're thinking. We're just gonna throw out a bunch of dudes 6'5" plus and and try to do it that way. But I thought maybe they would try to go, point guard route with like Kasparis, Giacchionis. Like I thought maybe
Yeah.
that would be playmaking guard, get those wings, in the right spot, move a little bit. I thought so. Yeah, I didn't get the fit. I'm not a big CMB guy for where he was project like one big board. I remember they had him 2.
Number 2?
As the number 2 pick. Right? I did see that. They had like it was like
And the
Cooper
dude
and
got
CMB.
roasted. Yeah, the dude got roasted, and I'm listen. Everyone's big board is there. Everyone has different process how they go. Not a lot of people like my big board. I'm cool with that, but that one was like, all right, my guy, 2,
Damn.
2, like
Yeah.
top 15. I'm cool. Even top 10 back in, but like 2.
Damn.
That means you think if you have someone, you still think this guy is going to be like an all-star, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't see that with him. I think
don't
he
see
could
that
be a
either.
nice. I think he could be like a Jeremy Sohan type, where he's like a nice piece, nice connector, but like all star. man, some people were like he had crazy like range too. Like I saw 2, and I saw like in the 30s. So like his range is crazy. But I thought they could have went a different way. But maybe they're just thinking, we're just gonna try to lock people up on the perimeter with defense.
True.
Or try. Let's see.
Well, the Suns going double big, like trading for Mark Williams and then actually being the one to take Malawach. Yeah, I was confused by that because I was like, you just traded for Mark Williams, who maybe I guess with the injury concerns he had because he was supposed to be a Laker. Sorry, Laker fans. And then they reneged on that trade. Yeah, what were your thoughts on that with the pick and then the trade also?
I hope that they suffer.
We go full time out. He said, "Yo,
there's certain franchises that even though
Suffer
they're not rival,
Suffer is wild, bro. Suffer is wild."
Matt Ishbia deserves to suffer for that.
Oh man,
like I was happy that they just made bad moves. So
Yeah.
it's just a franchise that just they have messed it up. They were literally 2 games away from winning an NBA Finals.
yeah,
Just what 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
yeah.
Yep.
and then they ruined it. They
They
are
did.
not even close to sniffing the playoffs, let alone being a championship team. I just don't get how that's allowed. And this is the problem. New owner syndrome is like a disease.
Mm.
It is a deadly disease that is going to plague the NBA because we're going to see a lot more new owners in the league.
Yeah.
Dallas has done it. Now they got blessed. They got the number 1 pick. That's the only thing that saved them. They
Yeah.
got blessed by the NBA gods by getting number 1 pick. We're going to see a lot of new owner syndrome, and I can't. I'm afraid. I'm actually. There's so many things that people are afraid of with the NBA, like with the future and with the rules, and that's what I'm afraid of. These new owners coming in, like the Celtics, they're blowing it up. Everyone's getting traded.
Very interesting. Very what they're doing.
Like, what
over
are
there
we,
is very
you guys?
interesting.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of these new owners. Like I said, Dallas. What they did. Like I said, they got lucky. They really got lucky.
They really
because
did.
they almost destroyed the whole economy in Dallas. Almost.
No, really. Like, it was an emergency, like a city emergency.
Like they lost like hundreds of millions of dollars because they traded Luke.
That's crazy.
Hundreds, like it almost decimated a city.
Yeah.
like it's crazy. Like a player almost decimated. It's insane that any business guy would jeopardize, especially these billionaires. They would jeopardize their pockets. And like no one said, "Yo, this is kind of a bad idea if we do this."
Right.
Not because we're trading them, but like we're gonna lose a lot of money because people don't want to come. So, but I don't know. I'm worried about a lot of these new owners coming in and trying to make a bunch of irrational moves, and now they're just gonna keep bleeding their franchise. And these GMs have like no chance. Like I wouldn't want to be a GM. Like I just wouldn't want to be a GM. Like it's just the basketball GM is miserable because these owners are just too much. I'm afraid with some of these new owners potentially coming in, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm like, that's what worries me.
All right. Well, speaking of Dallas, let's end with this. Cooper Flagg, number 1 pick. How good is he? I watched a few Duke games. I know you're a Duke fan, so I don't know, but you're objective, so I trust you to be objective. When I watched him play, to me, I feel like he reminded me a little of Kawhi Leonard, not so much like in style, but just like get to your spots. He's a good passer, like he's a good defender, more mid range than he is 3-point shooter, gets to the hoop, more like crafty than people give him credit for, but not explosive. Like I explosive in the sense like speed off the dribble, in my opinion at least. What's his ceiling? Because to go number 1 and to have this much hype around him, I don't think he has had as much hype as like Zion. He's not as hyped as like LeBron, like those guys. But there's a significant amount of hype around Cooper to the point where I'm expecting him to have an all-star career. Is that like, should I expect that?
It reminds me of Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Very similar to Anthony Davis, where like Anthony Davis got some hype, but people were like, the defense is there, and which is Cooper Flagg. Like Cooper Flagg is, I think he could be an All NBA type of defender, and it's the
Okay.
offense people are that are kind of is the offense going to match the defense, and the same thing I feel like with Anthony Davis. Like Anthony Davis is a good offensive player. He's not elite like that. Like he's not going to be shooting threes. His jump shot kind of went missing for a few years. Got it back a little bit, but I feel like with Cooper, that's kind of what I feel like he could be. Like he's going to be a high end defender. That is, I think it could be like a 20 to 22 point per game guy. Like, but his job's going to be like, yo, we need you to lock up. I think what's good about him is that I think his floor is super high. Like
Okay.
the worst he can be is like he's going to be like a 17-8 guy. Like he's still going to be like a high end starter that's going to help you in the playoffs. Like that's what people like about him is that all right, maybe he might not be Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
He's still going to be a really good player. And compared to some of the other guys, like we just talked about Ace Bailey. Yeah, Ace Bailey could be Tracy McGrady. But like I say, he could be Josh Jackson. And that's what I think. That's why people are so intrigued about Cooper. I think the floor is really high. The ceiling is high. Like I always said, like I feel like he's like a combo of like if you can combine Jalen Johnson and like I'm trying to think of like a defender. Who's like a wiry defender?
Like a Mikal Bridges, like when Mikal Bridges.
Yeah. And if you would like to like clone them and making them to one, that would be like a hell of a basketball player, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think he could be. Like I think he his ceiling is really high. I think he could be in. I don't know MVP. That all predicated on his offense. If his offense can take that a big jump, but I think he's going to be rock solid on defense. He's going to be a team guy. He's not going to say much. He's a very calm, cool kid, so he's not going to draw attention to himself. And he's in a really good spot in Dallas. It's just crazy. We just talked about like the malpractice that they almost had, but he's got good vets there. Anthony Davis, Kyrie, Klay Thompson. I got 3 Hall of Famers right there.
Yeah.
So like he got blessed to be put in Dallas. As crazy as it sounds, they just lost Luka, but he's actually in a good spot to learn. I mean, not a lot of number 1 picks getting this. It's usually a dumpster fire that they're going into, and that's why we see a lot of them not have the success. He's going into a good situation, so there's going to be pressure, obviously, because Luka, the residue of Luka is still going to be there, and when Luka comes to town, you're gonna be cheering for Luka. You're still gonna see 77 jerseys, but I think he has the demeanor to handle it. Because like early on at Duke, like the first few games, like he had like Kentucky game, like a lot of people, the media got on him because his dribbling. Like he tried to make a play at the end and got stripped. Tried to make a move, and he got stripped and he tripped or whatever. And they got on him, and he handled it. Cool. But it's like people forget, like he's actually supposed to be a freshman now.
Yeah.
Reclassified. Like he's supposed to be a freshman now. So like it happens. You got to learn. It's about learning, and then he got better and better and better, and the better team, the better. Like he played big. Like so he's gonna be a good one, man. I'm obviously there's some biases to it because he's a Duke guy. I'm always gonna root for my Duke guys, but I truly do believe he's gonna be a all-star level player, all NBA type of player. Like I truly believe that he is. The shot improved throughout the year too, because that was another thing. His shot, is it going to be consistent? It looked pretty good. Like he was confident to it. So once he gets his confidence going, man, he goes downhill. And he's a tremendous athlete. He gonna get on you, So I mean, he took Maine. He was winning on the circuit with Maine.
Yeah, the main event. That's what they were calling him. I remember that.
Yeah, like it was Maine. Maine's not known for hoops. I don't know what they're known for. But
I've never met anyone from Maine who played ball.
I've never met him from Maine, and he's out here. I'm watching him on the circuit, and I'm like, he's out there balling. He's the best player. So I think he's gonna be really good. Really good player.
All right, everybody. That's Chris LeBron, Off the Ball Podcast Network, Knicks Fan TV. Everybody give it up, Chris. Even if you're driving, baby, even if you're driving,
do not clap while you're driving. Disclaimer, do not clap. Please don't clap.
Please, even though I've done that plenty of time. I might do it tomorrow while the Knicks pick at 50 if they take Kobe Bryant.
I'm going to put, for everybody watching, I'm going to put the link to his podcast network in the description below, so make sure you check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to his content as well. They have a lot of different types of content. It's draft content, it's NBA content, it's everything there. It's a really good podcast network. Chris runs it himself. He's the owner, CEO, all that good stuff. Different types of personalities. Definitely go check it out. Chris, thanks for coming on, man. We definitely appreciate you.
Nah, man, I appreciate y'all, man. It's a lot of fun, man. It's just, the draft is like Christmas for me, man. I love this time of the year. Even if I gotta wait for there's a lot of Knicks fans that are like, "Why do you care about the 50th pick, bro?" I was like, "Yeah, because I cared.
Because I
don't
do.
care. I don't care that you don't care about the 50th pick. I care about the 50th pick. And all day I'm going on space. Knicks space is good, and I'm not with like all the
I had to retire.
negativity and.
I had to retire, bro. I couldn't do it.
I said, let's relax.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Kobe Bray. We're going to talk about Dylan Cardwell. We're going to talk about guys you've never heard of before. Just relax. And then,
I had to quit Knicks Twitter 2 or 3 years ago when I got laughed out of a space because I said that the Thunder are not interested in trading SGA.
Yeah, that's wild.
Knicks Twitter it's something.
That was my take, that they're not going to trade SGA. And their reasoning was because Sam Presti loves draft picks, as if that's the only thing he cared about. Like he's a crackhead for draft picks. That's what people thought at the time. Like that's all.
Turning a tray. I'm like, yo, you just won championship. Take the night off, bro.
And look at them now: NBA champions, SGA MVP of the league, and NBA Finals MVP for the Thunder.
Man. He was trying to trade up and stuff. He's like,
God,
he's probably
I had to stop. I had to stop, bro. But all right, listen, that's gonna do it. You can follow Diamond at the Diamond NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab, aka Yes. Chris, what's your handle on X or any social media?
I'm Off the Ball Pod on X, on Instagram. I do TikToks too. I'm
Cool.
I feel old. I'm old for TikTok, but I've been doing it. That's what the cool kids are doing now. So I've been doing some TikTok lives, and I've been called Unk on TikTok. I am the Unk on. So I'm starting to feel a little old.
It's an honor.
So, yeah. You can follow. I think it's Chris. I think I'm Chris LeBron OTB. If you follow me on my Twitter, on my X, whatever you want to call it, my link tree's on there. It has all the links there. So just check it out there.
All right, there you go. There you have it. That's our draft coverage. We'll see you next time for another episode of The Dime. When the Knicks hire a coach, when there's another trade, all that good stuff, we'll update you. Probably be tomorrow. Peace.